Kane Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakadash, Yahweh, who the word English calls God, Yahweh Shai, who the word English calls Jesus. When they give a double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, who are sought this truth. I want to give a peace and blessings to the Akim across the programs of the earth who teach this truth and risk their life to do so. It's going to be a quick video. Load the video that's edifying. Load the Akim get something from this video. Quick video through the spirit. I just want to talk about Jake just being quiet and listening. You know what I mean? Learning the art of shutting the fuck up, right? And this is something that, you know, I had to learn. This is something that Jake, you know, this is something that bros know, right? This is something that Jake gotta learn. You know what I mean? Shut up. Just be quiet, man. You know what I mean? Be quiet and be ready to listen before, you know, you talk. That's one thing you learn in this truth. That's why I say bros know. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing you learn when you first come in this truth. You know, you ain't doing all the talking. You ain't doing all the talking. You ain't doing no, you know what I'm saying? You holding signs. You know, maybe you reading, but it's order in this thing, right? But what you see with, you know, 2/3 of our people, they don't understand that. They don't understand order, nor do they want to understand order, right? When bros first came in, when we come into the truth, bro, you have, man, listen, you still being proven for real. Like, you know, you it's things you got to do, right? And majority of that is listening and learning. You know, is levels to wisdom, man. Listening and learning, man. Right? So therefore you can be how could I say it, man? You can be brought up. So when you start teaching, you know what's going on, right? You've been seasoned, right? You know what's going on. You know prophecy. You know breakdowns. You know the milk of the scriptures. You know the meat of the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? You're learning, right? And more than all that, you know how to fear and serve the Lord. So when you do get the meat of the scriptures and the milk and the meat of the scriptures, you know, you're not arrogant. You're not prideful. Right? You got a lot of dudes who have, you know, came in to the truth and learned a couple different things and haven't been able to get over, you know, being prideful, or learned that they were Israelites and wasn't able to get over being prideful. Right? They get stuck there. Oh, I'm an Israelite. So this. You know what I mean? You know, kids, you know, they don't walk with wisdom, right? You know what I mean? They have at work calling the white man Esau. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know, they doing the most. You're doing the most, man. That's not, you know, be wise, man. You got to learn how to be wise and how to apply it. How to apply wisdom, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't just fly off the handle. You know what I'm saying? But you're more likely to do that. You're prone to doing that when you're a novice, when you're new, right? And we see it all the time. You know, sometimes you can look at 2/3 of Jake and use their ass as an example on how not to be. Most of the time you can do that. You know, I'm not finna be like that. That's not how I'm gonna do, how I'm going to conduct myself. I'm going to conduct myself in a noble and in an orderly fashion. I'm going to represent the truth. You know what I mean? In the way it's supposed to be represented at all times, not just on camera. Not just on camera. Not just when you know, hear, you know, the screen record to make videos, but at all times in your household, in front of, you know, when you're in front of people, when you by yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, 2/3 don't do that. They don't see the importance. You know what I'm saying? They want to, you know, they don't listen to learn. They listen to rebuttal. Can't be like, you got to use that as an example on how not to be. All right, I ain't finna do that. You know, you tell a 2/3 nigga something, you know what I'm saying, that they doing wrong, that could benefit and help them. They swear them down they ain't wrong. But you know, but they keep doing the same shit and getting the same wrong answer. But to tell you You could come with the right answer, but they'll look at you and be like, no, nigga, no. You ain't telling me the answer in the way I wanted to hear it. So I'm not going to receive it, even though it's the right answer. Come on, man. It's hard to deal with a person like that. It's hard to deal with a person like that. But, you know, they say you can't change people. The only thing I heard this, man, you know, and I think it's a good saying. You know, you can't change people. All you can do is find in them something that you don't like and make sure you don't have it. Right? And that's a good thing to apply. Yeah, I ain't gonna, you know what, you know, hey, admonish you once or twice. You know what I mean? If you can't get it, then at least I'll learn how not to be. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you come to me for advice, I'll give you the right answer. You know, you can't get it, at least I'd learn how not to be. You know, get something from it. You know what I mean? You know, we could call you a nigga all day, and this nigga did it, we know that, but get something from that. Learn from the encounter, man, from the interaction. You know, get something from it. All right, I'm not moving like, okay, where am I like that? You see how this nigga acting? Where do I act like that at? Right? You know, when you talking to a woman, right? Talking to a woman, right? And you see how, you know, it just might, you know, be a woman you rocking with or whatever, right? And you see how disobedient she is at certain things. Right? It's good to ask yourself, like, am I like that with the Lord? You know, am I like that? Get something from it. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things to gain as far as intelligence when you're viewing certain things in this world. Right? Don't let nothing go to waste, man. And I'm learning that, right? And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was the one that would want to. I was the one that would want to talk. You know what I'm saying? I was the one that, you know, I think I got the hottest precept in the, you know what I'm saying? But over the years, you got to learn, like, hey, man, let the Spirit do what it do. If you get called on, you get called on. If you don't, you don't. The Spirit will have it brought out either in that way or a different way. You know what I mean? These are things that, because I made a video talking about observing thyself, you know what I mean? Now, I don't battle with that anymore. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's been a minute. I don't battle with that anymore. But, you know, in the beginning, you could say, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bro. Because ultimately, what is that saying? You know, you got to start questioning yourself. Well, shit, do I want the attention? Do I want this? Do I want to sound smart? Am I being prideful? Am I being it? Come on now. You got to be very honest with yourself, man. You have to be very honest with yourself. Can't be like a nigga in the world where a nigga lie, and deceive himself. Nah, be honest with yourself. Look at where you fall short at. Like, you know, I fall short in this area. I fall short in that area. You know what I'm saying? Even though as a man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, where do I fall short? Man, I could be a better father. I could be a better husband to my woman or women. I could be, you know what I'm saying? You know, I could eat better. You know what I'm saying? I get a little exercise in here and there according to my schedule. You know what I'm saying? I could, you know, try to be the best man you possibly can be, man. All it's gonna do is just help you out. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about no worldly. I mean, talking about, you know, being, you know, what they call a man as far as the standard of you know, this world. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll fool you. You know what I mean? They'll tell you to, you know, being a man is being submissive to a woman. Being a man is happy wife, happy life. That's not a man. It's not a man. Scripture says it's better that your woman and your children, you know, basically serve you than you to serve them. You know what I'm saying? You are the order of the household is the man is in the man. It goes the father, the son, the husband, the wife, then the children. Right? So you, as a man, you supposed to be the leader, not running behind her tail or being manipulated and all that, try to keep her happy and all this shit. Nah, hell no. That's what America, that's the Babylonian way. That's the romantic way. And fuck that. Nah, you please the Lord. She pleases you. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, take care of your business. Don't get me wrong. Don't be a lion in your household, but aim on and work on pleasing the Lord. Please your husband. We're married unto the Lord while she please you. You know what I mean? Do your thing as a husband. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Guide and protect and, pray over your house and, make sure, your house is following after the Lord to the best of your ability. But, man, don't be out here trying to, I done seen niggas do the craziest thing. I done seen niggas change religions because a bride told them to. You know what I'm saying? Quick testimony. I had a woman years ago, Arabic woman. And, one day we was, we had went out or whatever, got a little, something to drink. Went back to the house. We chilling. You know what I'm saying? She's sitting there talking about, I love you so much. I'm like, why? She said, because you don't put me on the pedestal. You are a man. You know what I'm saying? You basically you don't worship me. Because the girl was a very beautiful woman, right? She said, every dude I'll come across or every dude I've been with has been my little bitch. They get down on all fours for me and let me walk on their back, and you do not allow me to do that to you. Right? But cold thing about that is that I see what the fuck what that told me, well, I see what the fuck you want. I don't even think the girl remember telling me that. But, I see what you want. You get off to conquering men. And the reason why you like me so much is because you can't conquer me. I conquered your ass. You know what I mean? Bitch had a demon on her. Right? And obviously, not too long after that, maybe a year after that, you give her walking papers. One thing led to another, gave her ass, because at the end of the day, a woman like that, certain women like that try to remain and try to get it. They want that power more than they want you. They want, it's that demon on them. They want you to be subject unto them. You know what I'm saying? And the more you try it with me, the closer your ass gonna be to that door. And that's exactly what happened. Get your ass on. Fuck out of here. Go try it with another nigga. Not this guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. That's just what it is, bros. And have dignity. Don't lose your dignity behind nobody. Have respect for yourself. Carry yourself with respect. You know what I mean? So that's just that. But I was watching what had prompted me to make a video. I was watching a video of Jake telling another Jake, giving Jake the history or whatever. But and both of them is niggas. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But you have one Jake was just just listening to respond and not actually listening to hear. Because it was some fact in what dude was saying. You know what I'm saying? Dude is still a nigga, don't get me wrong, but it was some fact in what he was saying, and Jake was listening to respond and not listening to learn. And that's a lot. Jake do that shit a lot. And Jake not gonna stop doing that shit. That's just what niggas do. But we can't be like that. It might be times where you get rebuked. Take it. Take it, bro. Take it. Be happy you're getting rebuked. At least you're not a bastard. You know what I mean? Don't do nothing stupid. You know what I mean? Don't, you know what I'm saying? Let it, don't do nothing dumb. But at the same time, rebukes happen. And when they happen, just appreciate it. It ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. Some of them be worse than others, you know what I'm saying? But some of them, it don't be pretty, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, take it. Take it, bro. So, I ain't have too much. I just wanted to get into that. While I had some time, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what? That's a good, it just, the spirit got, got ant. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just make a video. You know what I'm saying? Because we can learn. I can learn something from this. You know what I'm saying? Bros can learn something from this. You know what I'm saying? And it don't apply to every brother. Don't get me wrong. But if it do apply to you, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, just change, bro. All we got the time. Okay? You know, so with that, man, loading videos edifying only. I got something from this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kakadash. I want to tell you brothers, keep pushing on to the next. Shalom.